Thank you, thank you, thank you. For all of you that came out today, I just want to share with you something I'm very excited about. Before we get started, I have a question for you. Have you ever been at a point in your life where you thought you had it all figured out? Based on some information somebody gave you? Based on some information that you thought you understood, or maybe you didn't have all the information, you made some life-changing decisions? And then at some point you realized that no matter how you tweak that, you are never going to get to the point where you had planned on going. Has anybody ever experienced that particular situation? So what do you do at that point? Do you just keep going down a street where it says clearly a dead end, or do you make a change? Do you call an audible? Now, for those of you that might be here and you don't understand anything about what that is, let me tell you, neither did I. Now, an audible is actually a football term, and what happens with that is when a quarterback is at that scrimmage line and he's been given a play, okay? But when he steps up to that scrimmage line, just based on all the obstacles that are out there, he knows there is no way he's going to actually get to the point where he thought he was going to do. So what he does last minute is that he just calls an audible. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because simply all an audible means is just to simply just make a change. Now let's just think about football, since we've been talking about football. What we're going to do here is we're going to talk about when we actually go to a game. I want you to think about it. Answer this question. Where are the most people? Are they mostly in the audience? Or are they on the sideline? Or are they actually in the game? You see, there's a smart person that said there's three types of people. There's some people that make things happen. There's some people that watch things happen. There's some people that say, what just happened? So we want to ask ourselves that, because we don't want to be asking what just happened when it has something to do with our own personal life. The name of this game is called Our Life. It's not just life. It's actually our life, so that's what we're going to really talk about today. And I think about that because you have those people and they're in the nosebleed seats. They don't know what happened. The people on the sideline, they saw a few more things, but the person that actually made it happen were the people that can tell you exactly all the details and how it all came about. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Most of us are outer-driven. We're always trying to seek somebody else's approval. And it's because of that Mr. Johnson has talked about it, so has Mr. Williams. Guess what? We don't know who we are. We've always been defined, and I'm just so excited about the things that I've already heard here today, because what we do is when we're growing up as a child and somebody says, don't do that. Don't go there. You shouldn't do that. Why are you doing that? I don't like those shoes. And we continue to tweak ourselves so much that we never really know who we really are. So who are you? So this is our defining moment, because see, somebody wrote something that said, to thine own self be true. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's just talk about the things that actually hold us back. There's something called mind viruses. This is why I don't look at CNN. Anybody familiar with CNN? Continuous negative news. Is that what it is, right? You have people that always talk, well, did you hear this on the news? Did you hear it? No, I didn't. I didn't hear it on the news because I don't need anybody corrupting what I have here. And that's what we have to do. We have to keep a positive attitude. So you keep all those mind viruses out. You have people that actually control your mind, and they tell you what you can do. You know, they define what you're able to do based on what they were not able to do. What kind of sense does that make? To actually let somebody define you by their own failures. Is that really the way you see yourself? Do you see yourself based on what Barbara maybe was not able to do? That doesn't make any sense, does it? So what we're going to talk about here today is the power that we've been given. I'm talking about our God-given power. I'm talking about the ability to go out and be whoever we are. Because as our previous speaker just told us, we already are God. We are who we're trying to be. That's who we really are. That's who made us, that we are made in His likeness, that we're made in His image. And we want to keep that in mind. So there's nothing that we cannot do. There's absolutely nothing that we cannot do. And you guys know I'm real big on it is what it is. No, it isn't. Most times it really is not what it is. It's just that people just continue to make excuses because they are afraid of success. They've never seen success. Because they've never seen success, they don't want to be that trendsetter to step out there and make it happen. But let me tell you, every situation that you could ever imagine yourself in being in, someone has already overcome it. So you see, the trail has already been blazed, and all you have to do is just walk through the door. That's all you have to do, Reginald. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about empowering and really understanding who we are, what it is that holds us back. Where did we get that self-doubt? Who first told you there was something that you couldn't do? And what did they base that on? Again, was it their own failures? Don't let people define you. Because as the previous speaker just told us, let me tell you what we are able to accomplish is absolutely infinite. But we got to get rid of that doubt. We have to understand where it came from, and we have to cast it out. We said fear is what? False evidence appear to be real. Who told you that? You know, when we talk about obstacles, and again, we're going to keep talking about football a little bit, to the extent that I understand it, by the way. But what we're talking about, again, is just calling an audible. And the reason I'm saying that is because, you know, when you're looking at all these things that are positioned in your way. Have you ever considered that those things have been positioned in your place and in your way as obstacles so that you can actually grow stronger? Yeah. That you can grow that belief and that confidence that you can actually get these things accomplished. Have you ever considered that that could be what that's all about? It's about making you better. It's about making you stronger. And we want to keep that in mind. Don't look at obstacles as a sign that you shouldn't be doing something. Look at it as an opportunity to become stronger, bigger and better, and do the things that you set out to be. So what is it that you really get planned on doing with your life? You see, because at one point when we were children, and I actually talk about it in my book, Knowing When It's Time to Call an Audible. I have a story near you. What I talk about in the book is how, you know, when we, you know, think about the road trips you used to take, and you and your siblings, and you're in the back seat, and you're looking at the car, you say, that's my car, that's my car, that's my car. Or land out in the field maybe, and you're just looking into the clouds, and you're saying, you know, when I grow up, I'm going to have 3 children. You know, I'm going to get married, have 3 children. We always picture ourselves with the perfect spouse, don't we? Right? We don't think about any of the other things that are actually put in place to actually make us grow with those relationships. So what we do, we lay out the field, we look in the cloud, and we imagine all the things that we're going to be. We imagine that I'm going to play football, I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to be a nurse, a doctor. What happens with all those things? Is it that as we go through life, somebody defines you and told you you were not able to do it, and they told you why, and you actually bought it. You actually bought into it. Talking about highway robbery, when someone actually robs you of what it was that you were meant to be, that is really a sad state. And do you know that so many dreams, as Les Brown likes to say, they actually go to the graveyard, that the richest place in the world is in the graveyard. We thought it was here, but guess what? It goes to the graveyard with us, every single thing. Now, I want you to understand that when I talk about calling an audible, I'm not talking about giving up. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you have exhausted every single possibility of ever making something work. That's when you do that, okay? Because you see, Les Brown has a poem that he loves, and I love it too. He says, if you want something bad enough, you go out and fight for it. You work day and night for it. You give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. That's what you do when you want something. So this is not about giving up, but this is about knowing when it is truly time to call an audible. And let me tell you, there's never an age limit on calling an audible. In fact, the sooner the better. But there's never a time that you have to say that I'm going to stay exactly where I am because I've just gone to this is my limitation. Get rid of those self-imposed limitations. And you do that by expanding the group of people that you surround yourself with. For me personally, and this is what I encourage everybody, my goal is always be the least, I hate to say least intelligent person in the room, but I always want to put myself in a pool where I can always grow from everybody around me. You see, because if you're the biggest person in your pond, you really need to find another pond. In fact, I suggest you actually go for a lake. You see what I'm saying? So that you can grow. This is all about growth and development. Because anytime we don't grow, we're as good as dead anyway, aren't we? Okay? So I want us to just give some thought to those things and really what it is, and think about what it is that you plan on doing with your life that just hadn't quite gone that way. You know, we actually have opportunities now to do that through programs such as this one, such as the one that I offer. You know, there used to be a time when I used to go on road trips with my family. Do you remember having Dad pull over to the side of the road with that map? You know, he got lost. He got that 49-cent map from the gas station. He pulled over, he takes a look at it, and, you know, and if it's an older map and you're looking for a new location, it's not there, is it? Well, see, now we have something called a GPS system. And all we have to do is plug in the address where it is that we're trying to go, whether it's in your city or whether it's across country, and we can get there a lot easier. And it's constantly updated all the time, all the time. Well, let me tell you, this is what we have now with everything that's been given us. If you get with the right people and you have the right formula, you just put the right address in. And what do I mean by the right address? I mean, where is it that you're trying to go in life? Who was it that you were trying to be, that you had planned on being, that you know you deserve to be? That's where we want to go, and you stay with that focus. You don't jump around. You follow one course until you are successful. So what we're going to do is, again, call an audible. And I want you all to think about something that you like to call an audible and just change it, because this is about having the power and knowing that you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want to do. So with that said, I am going to leave you with a message. I want you to just stop and just think about it. Who is it that you were meant to be? What is it that you really wanted to do? What is it that if you were told that you only had 30 days to live, what would be on your bucket list? That's what it's all about. I want to thank you all for your time, and just remember that you have the power to call an audible and change your life. It is your life. It's not someone